On taxes, what I do is 10% for everybody all across the board. Um, and uh, every company, every individual, 10%. It's not exorbitant, but it's fair for everybody, and it's simple, and it allows for growth, but it allows for, you know, you can project what you're going to have approximately way easier, and you have, when you have something you can count on as in a business in terms of your what you're going to owe, approximately depends on what your intake is. You can do more things, and uh, so let's let's skip to an audience with the ears to hear. Okay, um, so muted for those who would be offended. I don't want to waste my time trying to convince people of anything. Uh, but from a biblical perspective, you have historical um, precedent for a 20% tax. Uh, Joseph, uh, when he was running Egypt, did a 20% tax. And what that says to me is that if you couple that with Christ, the Lord, saying, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, but give to God what is God's. If God asks 10% as his tithe, I know his church will give 10%. Therefore, it's a 20% tax, and we'll still thrive. Our land will be blessed. All the promises that I've seen in my own personal life, and all the blessings that come with a nation that puts God first in their finances, will see God first in their finances, and the rest of our all, everything we touch will be blessed. Whatever we put our hand to, because it's living and giving. We honor the Lord with our living and giving, and so whatever we touch is a blessing that we get for living righteously, and but He'll open the windows of heaven for us and bless us with blessings that we cannot contain. That's that sounds like more than enough. And it's windows of heaven, so it's not just physical blessing, but spiritual blessing. And you think, uh, there are people outside the church who haven't experienced that kind of, um, you know, experience. I mean, it's an emotional experience, it's a spiritual experience. And, um, it's not like, oh, I got the warm and fuzzies. But no, yeah, there is a joy to giving. But just like in anything, when you walk outside and you feel the sun, right? It's like a, ooh, that's nice, the sun. It brightens your day. In the same way, it's a real thing to be able to experience that joy. Um, so, if you have lack of black markets, if you have immigration in its place, if you have Medicare in its place, and if you have a proper tax structure, right, in its place, you have great business, great wealth, great freedom if you take care of the people first, which would be life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for each and every person. From conception to death, what would you do if it were you? because you are all those things. And with that kind of mentality, the whole thing works, because you have less poor, and right away it works. It's not, you know, and they rake in a bunch of money, but they can't seem to keep it, you know. And you could, if everybody paid their taxes, there's people who getting away with not paying their taxes, you know. Uh, you would see a huge increase in our country's prosperity and notoriety. We would be loved more, uh, feared more, because we'd have more economic power, and it would generally go well with us way more. So that's my take on taxes, and a summary of how all those things together, you know, would work for everyone. And they're not. It's not. Those to me are common sense. Those are common sense things.